the very end of the last pre-recorded part, you saw me doing a lot of scraping on the molding, and then Drew showed you a neat trick for making a stock for your scraper. I'm going to show you a little bit more about these wonderful little tools. Nothing more than a very thin sheet of tool steel. You put a burr on the edge, and you can quickly, smooth the surface. It will take it. If I wasn't sitting here trying to build up shavings to impress you, I could have had this surface smoothed in a matter of seconds. A couple of swipes with a scraper, and that's about all it really takes. And the surface is immediately as smooth as if you had sanded it with about 150 grit sandpaper. These things can remove about 2/3 of the time that you normally spend with sanding a project. To use a scraper, you simply wrap your hands around it, as so, okay? And you push with your thumbs so that the metal is slightly flexed. Now, by doing that, you lift the corners of the scraper up off the wood as you're scraping so that they don't scratch the surface. You're actually just sanding right there at the front where it's bowed. And as you can see, when you get the angle just right, and that takes some experimentation, you're actually removing small shavings, more thinner than paper thin. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Okay. These shapers come in all different shapes and sizes. You can get them rectangular, like this one right here. This is nice. It's got a concave surface on one side so that you can do roundovers, or it's got a convex surface on the other side so you can get into rounded shapes. This is called an egg scraper, or sometimes a French curve. This has a variety of inside and outside curves that you can match to the curve surface that you want to scrape. All of these need a burr on the edge in order to cut. If you take a look at the blackboard, you see exactly how the burr shaves the wood when you hold this at an angle. This is, by the way, another variation on the same theme. This is called a cabinet scraper. These are hand scrapers. This is a cabinet scraper. It is a frame that holds the scraper at the best angle. The scraper in here is a lot thicker than a hand scraper. It's flexed by this thumb screw at the back, and you just sit there and you push forward, and as you can see, yeah, look at that, just throwing out the curls. Incidentally, you don't have to push like that. You can use scrapers if you need to scrape towards you. You have to be careful not to let the corners dig into the wood, but if you want to, you can scrape fairly quickly. Pull on it, same way with the cabinet scraper. It'll work pulling towards you. So you can push for a while, and then if you get tired, you can pull for a while. The real trick to using scrapers, because they are dead simple to use, is to keep a sharp burr on. And a burr does not last very long because it's so small and so weak. It's not going to last as long as, say, a good edge on a chisel. You have to sharpen these, if you're using them, depending on the wood, every 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how aggressive you are with the scraping and how hard the wood is. This one's got a pretty good edge on it, so I'm not going to mess with this. Let me show you how to sharpen this one right here. Incidentally, One of the things that happens around a shop is not only are these things great for smoothing wood, they're also great for getting glue out of corners and in cracks. And as a result, you tend to build up a lot of glue on your scrapers. I have many times tried to keep a little plastic credit card or scraper somewhere where I could use for glue and avoid using my steel scrapers for glue. The gremlins always get the plastic scrapers, and as a result, the thing that is always handiest is these. And so you build up a nice patina of acum-hunky on the scraper. So your first step to sharpening a scraper may be this right here. This is a surface conditioning pad. It mounts in the drill, and in a couple of quick swipes, the scraper is perfectly clean and all your sins are forgiven. So this may be a nice investment. As I said, this is called a surface conditioning pad. It's nothing more than Scotch-Brite with some embedded abrasive in a fiberglass cloth. And this particular one, you have to buy this little backing thing, and there's a little screw on it, and it just mounts really simply, just like that. Once the scraper is clean, let's presume that yours is now clean. You clamp it in a vise like this, and you take a mill file. This is a single cut. This is a single cut, second cut mill file. The word mill refers to the shape. It's flat with a slightly tapered nose. The second cut refers to how fine the teeth are. You have fine, second, and bastard, and then coarse. The single cut refers to how the teeth are actually cut into the file. In these, you have just a single cut, and so there's just row upon row of teeth. In this particular file, you have a cross cut on the back where it's round, and then a single cut on the front. A cross cut or a second cut or a cross cut is where you have the teeth are cut in a crosshatch. Actually, they aren't cut. The proper word is they're stitched. These teeth are stitched at about 45 degrees to one another. Okay, let's take this single cut, second cut mill file, and we're going to joint the edge. Now, if you'll take a look, well, you can't look, but if you had a microscope and you wanted to examine the type of shavings that I'm getting off of this, you would see that they are actually little curls. They're little curls of iron filings, just as if this were wood and I was planing it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm planing the iron perfectly flat. Now, I'm going to take the planing, the milling, the filing, whatever it is, leaves a small burr. You can feel a burr on the edge. And actually, I could stop here. This burr will cut the wood, and it cuts the wood kind of nice. Let me draw it towards you. There we go. I'm getting, they're much smaller shavings, but I'm getting some pretty nice shavings. Some woodworkers like to just hit it a few licks with a file and then stop there, because it's a simpler and faster way to put a burr on. I prefer to go the old-fashioned route and do what I'm about to show you, because it puts on a larger burr and the burr is more robust and lasts longer. So we're going to take the burr that we put on there with the file, and we're going to take it off on a hard Arkansas stone. Just takes a few licks on the stone on each side. And there you be. Clean that up. Now, the next step is called raising the burr. And for that, you use what is called a burnisher. It's just an extremely hard piece of steel in a handle, rounded, polished surface on it, and as you run it back and forth across the edge, you hold it at about a 5-degree angle so that I'm pressing that edge and raising the burr. Now, if you don't have a burnisher, by the way, you can simply use, if you want to, a drill bit. I've taped this so I don't cut myself, but you just hold the drill bit and take the shank and raise it with the drill bit. The English, by the way, call a burnisher a ticketer, and you can kind of hear why, because as it comes off the end of the end, it makes that little ticking sound. Now, last, we've raised the burr, now we're going to turn the burr, and I'll do this with the, continue working with this drill. You turn it over. Once again, I'm holding the drill like I would the burnisher at about 5 degrees to the top of the scraper. And that turns the burr over. Now, as you're probably guessing right about now, I'm creating not one burr, but 4. At this point, I have got 4 usable surfaces on this scraper. A burr here, here, and here. So as one gets dull, I can just turn the scraper over, and then turn it over and over again. Nice way to, at that point you just don't have to go back to the vise all the time. Nice way to have, it's kind of like reusable sandpaper. Now, what about curved scrapers? Well, let me show you. I'm going to, if you have a curved scraper, once again, you go through the very same thing. I'm going to take the curved part of this. I'm just going to file around with the just following it with the file. Now here on the inside, I'll have to use a different file. I'll have to use, this is a half round. Again, it's a second cut. Okay. Now I would go ahead and now this has a burr on it right now. I could use this if I wanted to. Once again, I'll get this piece of wood over here and show you. See, it's actually rounding over that corner fairly nicely there, but I'm going to take the stones, take the file burrs off, clean this up. Raise the burrs, the burnisher, or the drill bit, doesn't matter. You'll see when the burr is raised, you get a nice shiny edge. A line of light peeking back at you. Now, I could raise them using the burnisher. I could turn them using the burnisher. But I want to show you another trick. Some of you have seen this all in a video tip I did a while back, but we're going to go over here to the drill press. I'm going to put this right on the drill press. Now notice I've got a drill mounted in here, and I have lowered the drill. See, the flutes are way down here. I've lowered the drill so that only the shank is showing above the surface of this little block of wood that I've put here. I've also tilted the table at 5 degrees. Now I'm going to turn this on and press very hard against this drill bit, and that will turn the burr. About this is that the drill will follow. It will follow both inside and outside curves, so you can do both. If you come over here to that egg scraper I showed you, look at that. It'll follow just right around the sides, just like that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all you need to know about scrapers to get started. If you haven't got a set of these, believe me, this is something that you need in your shop. You will thank me. And that's it for today. Flat Stanley and I want to say goodbye, and remember the golden rule of 3. Okay? You always measure twice, cut once, and brush off 3 times before you go back into the house. We'll see you.